So you've probably clicked on the video because you're going through the same thing I went through in the past and which I'm still currently handling. This thing is called IM, or infectious mononucleosis, or Epstein-Barr virus, or whatever it can be called. So I really understand what it feels like to have it, okay? And in this video I'm going to talk about what is infectious mononucleosis, what is Epstein-Barr virus, what are the symptoms of EBV and which symptoms I had in particular. I will talk about which laboratory test you should take to diagnose this state properly, and obviously what is the treatment and is there any treatment for this illness. Obviously how to cure it. It's the most right question to be asked in our cases, right? So I want to tell you my personal story from the beginning, and it may be too long or too boring, some of you guys understand that. Therefore, I will just put some time codes below the videos, so feel free to go to the part which you're interested in, okay? So to start off, I just want to tell you some of the background of who I am in terms of my health and in terms of my immune system, etc. Okay, so in the early childhood I had such thing called reduction of tonsils or something like that, I believe. I had it because they were too large and they prevented me to breathe properly, so my parents decided that I should have this reduction of tonsils procedure. Basically it's like a surgery, right? And from this moment, I believe my immune system was a bit weakened because I was having all these flu symptoms all over again during my whole childhood: sore throats, tonsil stones, fevers, etc., etc. I had them during my whole childhood. And once I became more like a teenager, I believe my immune system and my health became a bit better. I was more like back to normal teenager, just having some of these flus from time to time, you know. And so coming back to the start of the story with mono. So for me it started in February 2022. So I'm shooting, today is July 20th of 2022, okay? So it's all started in Feb. I thought it was just a usual flu, you know. I had a sore throat, like enlarged tonsils, enlarged lymph nodes, fever up to 37.5 degrees Celsius. So I had this whole condition for 2 weeks, and obviously I was trying to fix them myself. So I tried gargling, I tried sprays, I tried lozenges, all this casual stuff, you know. So I went to my ENT doc and she made some tests for bacteria in my nose and in my throat, and she found the bacteria in my throat, I guess. So I guess the bacteria was Escherichia coli or something like this, but this doesn't matter. So she found out that there was a bacteria in my throat, and I've passed a course of tonsil washing. It was 1 week course, and all the symptoms disappeared for me, luckily, and the symptoms just went away for 2 or 3 weeks, and then in March all the symptoms just came back, and so I came back to my ENT doc once again. She made this test in my throat, and she found out another type of bacteria in my throat once again. But she said the amount of the quantity of the bacteria wasn't enough to cause this inflammation and this fever to me. So basically from March to May I was just stuck through multiple visits to ENT doc and also to urologists, because I wanted to find out the source of this constant low-grade fever which I had, which was between 37.1 and 37.3 degrees Celsius. So I had this constant low-grade fever and fatigue also, and I went to the ENT, I went to urologist, though I haven't had any urologic symptoms or something like that, but I just tried to find out what was causing this state to me. and eventually I've passed both ENT and urologic treatments once again, and they had just no effect to me. And so in May I finally got my therapist consultation. It was an online consultation, which I obviously should have had way back earlier. And so he checked my numerous blood tests, which I done through all this time. So he just noticed an obvious monocytes and lymphocytes increase in my blood work. And so he said this is the signs, together with my symptoms, this is the signs of what is called infectious mononucleosis, which is usually caused by Epstein-Barr virus. So I will attach this blood work to this video. It will be maybe here or here. And this is just so strange that none of the docs just noticed this fact. And also I made another blood test, testing me for different kind of antibodies to Epstein-Barr virus. And I will also attach the pictures, maybe here or there. Now, I just wanna tell you about these tests. So I made following tests for antibodies. The first one is anti-EBV IgG EA, which is early antigen. For me it was negative, it was less than 5. And basically these antibodies appear in first 1 or 2 weeks of EBV and disappear after maybe 3 months of it. And also they are positive during the reactivation phase. So for me, I believe more than 3 months passed since the start of the infection. So I believe that this just confirms my thought that I became ill in February. So another test is anti-EBV IgG EBNA, which is Epstein-Barr nuclear antibody or something like this. So for me it went positive, it went like more than 600. And here the important thing you have to understand is that most labs just will not show the exact points for this test. They will just show like more than 600 or more than 700 or something like this. So for me and for you, it can be either like 600 or 5K or something like this. So this antibodies just signalize about the past infection. And they tend to increase in your bloodstream during the healing process. And so the third one is anti-EBV IgG VCA, which is viral capsid antigen, I believe. And for me, it also went positive. The result was 326, so it went positive. These antibodies peak at maximum during first weeks of the illness, and they tend to decrease. So comparing with the how it was called IgG EBNA, which is more than 600, this is more than 300. So I believe it's decreased a bit from where it was at the beginning, and this once again tells me about the fact that this is more like a past infection for me, and now I'm just recovering and having some symptoms faded away during this recovery process. So by the way, another important test here is EBV IgM VCA, which is IgM antibodies for viral capsid antigen. And I know that maybe I should have been prescribed also this test, but for some reason my therapist just didn't do this, because this is the test which actually shows whether you're in active state right now or not. But for some other tests, just indirectly, I can understand that this is not the active phase for me right now. It's more like a recovery phase. Because I also was tested, among other things, for antibodies for cytomegalovirus or something like this. And this cytomegalovirus or CMV went also positive with antibodies to me, meaning that this was a past viral load for me also. And another blood test which I recently just done, And another test was a PCR for the viral DNA in my blood. And I made this test for Epstein-Barr virus and also for this CMV, cytomegalovirus, and they both came negative for me. But these blood tests, I believe they're not so sufficient in my particular case, because obviously for me it's more like a past infection right now, but these tests only came positive during active phase of the viruses. So basically this is it for my story, more specifically for the first part of it. And so talking about the EBV symptoms, which are most common, they are low-grade fever, fatigue, muscle pain, joint pain, but the most common and the most severe, I would say, and which I personally had and still having right now during my month 5 or month 6 of mono, are low-grade fever. So I'm still having a fever up to 37.2 degrees Celsius. I mean, not daily. It's really strange for me because for some days I'm having 37.2, in some days I having 36.7, 0.8, 0.9, etc. Some days I just had 36 and 6, which is believed to be a healthy temperature for a human being. But this still varies to me. Once again, I just want to remind you that this is like month 5 or month 6 for me, and I'm still having like all these symptoms. So I'm having a low-grade fever, I'm having a tiredness or fatigue, but this fatigue is really strange because, you know, sometimes when you have a fatigue in normal life, it just comes and goes. I mean, you know that you feel tired, you know, okay, I feel tired, I will have some rest, maybe sleep, maybe just lie in bed or something, and then this fatigue will go away. But with mono, it's just not like this. With mono, what you're having is you're waking up, you're feeling healthy, until the afternoon, and then you're just having like 3-4 hours of extreme fatigue, extreme tiredness, and it's really strange, and it's really it's even scary, you know, because I remember one case when I was just driving around the city in my car, solving my business, and I just felt this flash of tiredness, this flash of fatigue, and I just barely could drive to home, you know. So this is not really pleasant, to be honest. Yeah, obviously. So finally, for me, symptoms are low-grade fever, still fatigue and tiredness, still brain fog, still some enlarged lymph nodes under there. I'm just feeling them. Recently I had a sore throat. I forgot to tell you one important thing. So this video is just gonna be so shit because I cannot concentrate on one thing because my brain just so fogged. Okay, whatever. So one important thing I forgot to tell you is exercise. So basically, during my whole life, I got used to do some exercise, go to the gym, to exercising on bars, etc. And so in June, I started to feeling more okay. My temperature was okay. It was 36.6, 36.7 Celsius, and I actually felt pretty normal. It was the first time from March maybe when I felt really okay. I felt healthy, I felt like full of energy, etc. And so I haven't thought for a long time and just go to bars in a really hot weather, maybe like 30 degrees Celsius here. And I started exercising, and I maybe went to 2 or 3 workouts during 2 weeks, and after the third workout the day after I just felt so broke. I felt like complete shit, guys. My sore throat came back, my fever came back, my tiredness like maximized on x100. And basically it took me maybe 2 or 3 weeks to this current moment to kind of recover from that rollback, you know. But these rushes of tiredness, these rushes of fatigue, which come and go, they're like making me nuts, they're making me just insane, guys. And also, right after I got those symptoms back, after my workouts, what I eventually done is I made a diprospane shot right in my butt. I don't know, guys, whether you know what's diprospane. Diprospane is it's a hormone, so it's like corticosteroid shoot. So I made this shoot and my sore throat went away eventually, so the inflammation went away, and I'm having a really nice throat right now. It's not hurt anymore, and yeah, that's it. So guys, basically I've told you about what's EBV. No, actually I haven't, but whatever, because you know for yourself what it is, maybe better, even better than me, because I believe you're also been reading through these subreddits, you've been looking through all these forums, etc., and you know what's EBV, what's mono, etc. So basically what I've told you is my story, my symptoms. So, and in the next video I want to tell you the most interesting part, basically what I have done to make myself feel better, to cure myself, what's the treatment I was applying to myself to fight this shitty illness, to fight this mono, and to strengthen my immune system. So I will make another video on my channel about this. So basically this is everything I wanted to tell you in this video. I hope this video was useful to you, so please give it a like and subscribe to my channel, because I really want to promote this type of content on YouTube, to make people knowledgeable about the treatment and about the way out of the mono. So stay tuned and please watch my next video about the treatment. Bye.